Hi. There's going to be some changes today. Bear with me, okay? We're all in this together. All right. First change is I'm changing out the layout of all the cameras and so forth that I've been doing because it's become an antagonism of trying to get this all sorted out. And so when I'm talking to you, I'm going to talk to you like this. Hi. And when I'm working, I'm going to work like this. So I don't have to worry about the two of them. But, you know, it's different. It is, we get used to it. So, and I've got a couple different cameras set up. I've got the overhead. Oh, I'm an overhead camera. And then I've got the overhead zoom. Oops, hold on. Didn't turn off the overhead. Hey, look at me. I'm an overhead, but I'm closer. So, and then we've got, of course, the Windows camera that sort of tells you what I got on the screen right now, what I'm working on. So, anyhow, I'm gonna change what I got in the bottom of my screen. Well, I didn't, so we'll leave it for today. Who cares? Anyhow, it doesn't matter. The way that things are going for creativity for me has been interesting. And what I mean by interesting is that I need to shake it up. So the image that you see on the screen today is the first upright that I've done in that I've posted that I've done in the one-page format in over a year, and I just need to shake it up. When you do, we figure I've crossed the threshold of 375 pages. And no, I'm so sorry. My math is terrible. I crossed the threshold of 400 pages this year, since January 15th of last year. And, that's a lot of pages to do in one style, in one format. So I'm going to not do that anymore. I'm going to, for the time being, I'm going to do them upright. And this is the first of them. I've got a second one I'm working on. I'll show you in a second. But, hi, Chris, welcome aboard. I don't know if I can leave my own stream for a second and change what I've got on the screen. I don't know. Oh, hold on. No, I guess it's there. Okay. Yeah, so anyhow, the text in the corner, just ignore it. This is from when my good friend Tristan joined me yesterday and hung out in the stream. And we had a great chat. We had some good fun. And she's a graphic designer for all of the comics that we've put out, RP Comics, since 2015. And 73 books in total. A lot of fun. But she was designing the logos for all of them. And anyways, Tristan's a phenomenal talent. So it was great having her in yesterday, and we were both working on a piece. Please go to her Instagram, Cat in the Toque, and check out the page that she did from the same suggestion as the page here that I did. And that suggestion came from Miriam, and it was how to get rid of a ghost. So thank you, Miriam, for that suggestion. It was awesome. I painted this page. The original art, I think I've got here. And you can see how I took these elements and I put them together like so. Messed around with scale, messed around with, some of the shape of the top right panel, but it's all feel-goodery. Spackled some red spooky bloodish type thing on the imagery, and gave Mom the prominent position because there's one way to get rid of a ghost. Have it annoy Mom. She'll have enough of it. She'll tell me to get out of her house. At the very least, get out of her kitchen. So, this is my silly page for today. And so it's painted in acrylic. And I used red, a vermilion red, a yellow, and an umber, and white. That's it. So this was fun. Anyhow, I've got so the day before was Guy, a businessman named Guy. So this is the last of the landscape format pages for a little bit, unless I just feel like randomly doing one day. Who cares? So and then the reason that Mother jumps to 31 is that before I got to the Mother wouldn't have it, I started messing around with this. And this is a page of, let me see, I'll pop a panel in here that takes up the back value. So this is, it's a horse-drawn Ford F-150. Run. This is from a sketch in one of my sketchbooks. And I'll show you. Oh, it's right in front of me. This is the page just scribbling in my book and dropping paper out. What's that? Cool. Some geometric shapes. Oh, I think it's an apartment building I was trying to sign. So, yeah, anyways, this is me drawing with a single Faber-Castell pen and having fun doing that. And, hey, what do you think of it? She loves it. Okay, so that's the queen. Be nice. It's just a little bit of class. Just stepping up the class in this here show. So, yeah, so this was a fun page to just sort of scribble. I've got one more image that I'm going to scribble on this piece of paper in the sketchbook, and that is another shot of the truck. Excuse me. And so this one is, there's the horses. Whoops. There's the horses, and there's the truck that they're dragging and crashing into things with. So next I'm just gonna draw the truck, maybe, I don't know, whizzing off into the distance with the horses pulling it behind them. Why where this page came up with, I don't know. I think it's fair to say that I can say that for most of the things that I do. It didn't work. I'm trying again. Hey, there, it worked. Okay, so that's this page. And I've got the veggies as an overlay on top of this panel. So they'll, and they'll have a color layer underneath it. And then this, I put a square around this image. And then, of course, the title went on top of that. So when you put, that's a base color for the first panel. And then there's a base color for the whole page, but until I get another little base value for that, I gotta keep working at that. Chris says I'm about to finish task grading for this week. 90 writing tasks since Wednesday. Good heavens, Chris, that is a ton of work, and boy, I hope that you give yourself a chance to have a little siesta as soon as you're done. Just give yourself a little rest. And, just go out in your balcony. And Chris often says that she's watching from the balcony. I don't know if she actually has one. Go out in the balcony and just make bird sounds. Your neighbors will love it. And just do something fun and separate from grading and writing tasks. Oh, my goodness. Chris says, nice lines. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. So, here is the page that I haven't finished yet, but I painted this yesterday and finished a little bit of painting last night that was left to do, and just quickly assembled it so it ends up falling, that it got finished before the page in between, and this page will be posted on Patreon. So anyhow, so there's the original for that. Now I've got Bing Bong, the new cameras set up so that we'll be figuring some stuff out here. Just one last thing before this. This is the format. Okay, so this is the format that I'm working now. And the previous format, this is what's called a portrait format. And the previous format that I've been working is the landscape. Okay, so that's the same size and image. It's just, you know, I need to increase this visible working surface, but they're the same size image. Chris says, not only the virtual balcony, but I do have a real balcony here at home. It's a clear and sunny day. Cold is gone for some days. Excellent. Perfect time to go out there and hoot some bird sounds in celebration of being done marking. Okay, so there's our overhead. Now, the nice thing about changing the setup a little bit is it gives me some liberty to how I go about working here in the space, and in this case, it lets me. Whoops! I'm so sorry. I'm just sorting that. There we go. So it lets me figure out a little bit about how I can work and not have it become an ordeal with folks. And there we go. Plenty of lighting. I got the larger pages, the 11 by 17 here. I've got the 8.5 by 11 pages here. This is a lot of cardstock on this clipboard. This is all kinds of different paper. There's cardstock and non-cardstock on this paper, but you know, it's fun. This sort of laying it out this way. Now the book. The book. So, wrong book. Also, I'm going to be calling I've got work going through on the collected book that we'll be doing through Amazon with the collection of pages from over the last year or so, and the first one anyways. And then at the same time, I'll be putting this stuff aside for a new collection. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Very dramatic camera changes. Great. Looks okay. You're inside the frame. Well, there's a good start. We got to start. Okay. Okay. A carpenter who makes the window for people. A carpenter who makes the window for viewers to be able to look through to see something new. That's a long one to type out, but we're going to do it anyways. I think it's window frames. Is today's suggestion. So I'll post this up. And I didn't write down who it was, and I've lost the page. I completely lost this page. Where did it go? Gord. Okay. All right. So there we go. Gord, thank you for this suggestion. I appreciate it. And make sure. There we go. So we've got our suggestion to work on. Is there anything new here to show you? Not really. Just some more scribbling, you know. Thought I'd pull out the sketchbook occasionally just to keep it in front of people. So, a carpenter who builds window frames to show people. I'm sorry. A carpenter who makes window frames for people to look through. That's something new, is the story suggestion for today. And that's fun. I like that. It's a great start. Okay, so one of the things that I'm going to be shaking up in the new approach to things is, here we go. Good. Ooh, like a magical window. It's a cool idea. It's a really cool idea. It's one of the ideas that I got from people putting suggestions inside of a box during the London Comic Con here, and I got about 40 suggestions through that. So this is I've been going from the top of the pile down, so now I'm getting some really fun and exciting ideas appearing that I can't remember at this point. There's lots of cool suggestions that have been coming in, but I didn't remember this one at all. So woohoo! All right, so a carpenter who is makes window frames for people to look through at something new. This is so much fun as far as suggestions go. So let's start with our carpenter making a window frame. So I got a piece of cardstock here that we'll just start working on this. So the last two pages that I've done in the portrait format, I've done in with the type at the top of each page. And so I'm definitely going to shake that part up today. And then now in drawing, is it too light? Let me switch pencils. I apologize. Should just keep the green pencils away from my desk entirely. Okay, so what I was saying was I want to shake up the way I laid this page out and some of the information that's on it. And that's not too easy to see. Let's see if this works. Hello. So there's a couple of different elements that I can do in this. One is not having the type at the top of the page. Two is that I can use window frames as a panel device. This is a possibility as well. And, looking forward to that notion. And I'm feeling really opened up creatively right now to not be overly concerned about a bunch of things and my finishes and the pages. So I'm not going to be doing black line over this whole thing. We're going to try some different stuff. Just for skis. Incorporate some washes in here as our guy's working, into the pencil crayon. And apply, loose application in how I'm drawing today. Just, I don't know. It's changing a few foundational things, and like switching the format, switching to the portrait format, has really psychologically liberated me. And so there's this sort of creative enthusiasm going on in my head that, I'm trying to rein in, really, honestly, because otherwise, just going to overwhelm myself. Like yesterday, starting 2 pages in the same day is, just sort of indicative of the fact that there's a part of me that just feels liberated right now. So, line's wrong on this. It's really bugging me. I've drawn a cap instead of drawing a construction helmet. Here we go. It's funny, the things you think of halfway through as you're putting an image down. You're like, wait a minute, I'm drawing the wrong hat, aren't I? So I'm putting a what do you call it? Reflective jacket on right now on our guy in order to sort of sell that here's a guy on a work site, right? Because they all have to wear the jackets nowadays here in at least in Canada. Get a jacket on the helmet or get out the job site. So Yeah, so it's the smallest thing. I've said this a couple times over the course of doing the stream here this year, and sometimes you just gotta, if you get into any kind of a funk, if you get into any kind of situation where it's interfering with your creative avenue, of energy and inspiration and all that, then switch it. And for me, it was I just realized in the last week that I'm doing a lot of this. There's too much uniformity and working just the same landscape over and over and over again. So this is why the switch today. And I I don't know. I'm sort of reinvigorated because of it. So what it is that this is the format that I generally work in on other projects. And I switch back to the landscape thing, and that would actually keep me fresh and distinctly separated between the two because they're a different format. But 400 one-page stories in landscape format made me think I gotta try some different stuff. Now, Miriam had suggested that I draw the next story that I do within circles, and which is a great suggestion, and I'm going to do that. But this is a carpenter making window frames, so I think I'm going to stick to a rectangular form, like frame for here. I think maybe I'll start this first one in a circle though, and then every subsequent one will be, what he's building and what it reveals. So it was nice to be able to paint a page yesterday. It was really nice to have my good friend Tristan join me yesterday. I haven't changed the title for the myself in the corner there. It's still got me and Tristan up there. I'll switch that for tomorrow, I promise. There was a fun Artcasters on last night. If anybody's interested, checking that out. Javier Hernandez was on, and very talented creator. And it's funny, yesterday I drew this page where a Ford F-150 is careening through a farmer's market, being pulled by two horses for whatever reason. And then last night, Javier Hernandez is talking about just draw whatever things you enjoy, and I'm like, I kind of did that today. And he's right. It made me go like, woohoo! I was having a ball, having out of control horses, pulling a truck for whatever ding dong reason, and it was just, let your inner weird out, right? And but valuable insights from Javier last night, and very creative individual. He's got a Kickstarter going. I cannot remember the particulars, but take a look at last night's Artcasters, and I'm sure that you will find out all the things that you need to find out about his work and what he's got going on. So, all right. Let's see. So, also, I didn't know about a Jim Butcher series I found out about last night. That's exciting. Jim Butcher, funny writer. He wrote a series called the Dresden Files, about this private detective / magician for hire named Harry Dresden. And his staff that he uses in magic battles is a hockey stick, and his sorcerer's wand is a drumstick. Like they're just, it's like Sam Spade meets the magic world of Harry Potter, or even bigger than that, because there's vampires and werewolves. But I guess those are in Harry. I think those are in Harry Potter. I don't know enough, but just fantastic fun. He's the smart talking. Do you think you're going to get away with it? Well, I thought I'd try. That kind of a character. Couldn't hurt to try. the one spell of his that stands out in my head is people are after him and they're going to get him, and they think they're just about to catch up to him. Harry, pay attention. I'm about to kill you, or whatever the bad guy says. And he touches Harry on the shoulder, and Harry completely dissipates into a pile of charcoal dust on the floor, because there's a magic trick where you take the charcoal, or the lead out of a pencil, and you can make a simulacrum of yourself. And it only works until somebody touches it, but what a fantastically fun idea. Anyway, so Corey Kerr was talking about his new book series, and I wrote it down. I'm going to be checking those out, because just a really funny writer, Jim Butcher. So, okay, so we got our construction guy going in, and I got to draw his. I'm just having him look at plans and designing his oeuvre, you know. But we got his reflective jacket on, and I better finish that part of him. Well, maybe finish the arm, and then we'll switch over to the opposite side and get his back put in. The music I'm listening to today is XTC. It's just fun British band from the 80s, 70s, and 80s. You know, they were produced by the Virgin Records guy, Richard Branson. He personally produced their stuff because he thought it was like crazy unique. There's a cool documentary about it. So I've got the plans of what he's drawing here. Now I had better. I suppose. Is that big enough? Nope. I had better get a proper circle going here around our boyo. All right. There's Miriam's circle panel that she'd asked for. Okay, so this just to inform myself, the rest of the image, like the space that I have for the rest of the image. So I'll put in, I got to put the other part of his jacket in here. Clean that up a tiny bit there. I don't want a tangent. Tangents when lines connect for no reason and makes the reader's eye go in the wrong direction than you want them to. Look where I tell you. So I think that people are going to enjoy the working area being available, and less of my silly old gob on the screen, unless I got somebody coming in and hanging out. So let's see, painting in here. Oh, I'm missing stuff. I apologize. Chris says circles and rulers. Janet Young will scold us. Yeah, I guess. Should give us some snark. She's very snarky, Janet M. Young. Anybody that's interested in this kind of thing, Janet's got a scavenger hunt that she's put together for people to engage with. So here's our board. And I'm going to have, he's just making a note on a sawhorse. You're crazy. Oops. Move over. So he's just checking his notes and his drawing, and then we're going to have the first frame right here behind him. So hopefully this is easier to see for everybody here. But sorry, I'm off in the. I got lost in the doodly-doo drawing zone there. All right. So I think let's put him on a building site. But before we get any farther into that, let's put, he's over here drawing a rough plan for this window frame. See, I used a circle a minute ago. You can't expect me to use a ruler all the time. So here's his first window frame. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one background, or the background in one way, and then I'm going to draw the view through the window in a different, going to a different place. Yeah, maybe, yeah, okay. So let's put a couple sawhorses under this. In case people don't know what a sawhorse is, let's switch the direction out too, just to keep it interesting. Lines moving around. A sawhorse is a working area for you to be cutting wood on, and it's just something you smack together at a pine or whatever inexpensive lumber you got kicking around, and in that way, although what lumber isn't expensive anymore, and in that way you've got a place to cut wood on and to build your projects, whatever they may be. Oops, let's put I put crossbeam on that sucker. It won't stand straight. There we go. Let's put his friend over here on the opposite side. And then we have this underneath our picture, but I'm not drawing this piece of it because we're going to see something different through that, not the room that we're in. Am I missing something? Miriam's joined us. Hi, Miriam. I'm doing your suggestion from... oh, no, I did your suggestion today. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. This is... I'll put it up. There we go. Just one sec, please. Clicking buttons. There's your suggestion, Miriam, of how to get rid of a ghost. Yeah, how to get rid of a ghost. There's the page that I posted today. Oh, Miriam says she saw it. Oh, that's right, you did. Okay. Well, you know, my brain's overactive today. What if the man decides not to deliver a frame because he liked what he saw? How great is that? That is, that's a great idea. How about, can we do that as a suggestion on its own? Like, what if a person decides not to deliver something they've made because they like what they've made? Because I got an idea for this whole building a frame and what it lets you see. That it doesn't necessarily work with not deliver a frame because he likes what he saw. And the reason for that is that in my head, I've got this guy having to build the frame in the place, like on the site, because that way they can see into whatever the idea is full time. All right, I'll write it down here with Barbara's suggestion from yesterday. What if a man decides not to deliver something made? That's a lot of writing. And that's Chris K. Thank you, Chris. It's fun. Okay, so now, before I get too much into this panel, look at me. I got a ruler. Out. No one's more surprised than I am. And we'll see where that panel goes. But I just know that I want to direct the eye this way. There we go. That's the cheater's way to make a line on the edge. Anyways. Sad, very funny. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Oh yeah, Miriam, I think I did see you. Yes, thank you very much. Good. The wedding cake that never was delivered. That was never delivered. That's fun too. I'll write that down. See, you guys are out of control. Wedding cake never delivered. Miriam. There, get that down too. That was in the book because I don't know where the book is, and the post-it was right there. So, okay, so this is just putting these remaining details in here. I think that, see this board, and then you see that board going that way. There we go. Okay, and then the second sawhorse is under here, but it's blocked by the panel that sits over top. Yeah, that was a fun one too, Miriam. I like that. That's really cool. I wrote that down. Okay, so there's our first panel, the structure of it, but let's put him in a space of the other side. And so what we'll do is let's put some ceiling joists here, and we'll put a roof line across them, but we'll do a corner here, and then we'll do a window. What's my direction going? So if my space is going this way, which is why this stands out because it works against it, right? Let's put, imagine our vanishing point is over here. We'll give a little cap top. Okay, and then doesn't seem right, something's off. Take this line's off. Yeah, it's not. It's another replacements now. Cool. Put a header joint built in above this window, so to suppress the weight. It sits above the window, and then we'll leave this open, and we'll draw some stuff in the background. And then we'll put a line across our joist. And then we'll put this one here, capper head. There's our ceiling joist in there, and then we'll have we'll build the wall up. But in the meantime, let's put another window on this wall. And just the whole idea of the windows is to sort of, oh, look at all the windows around them. Did they go someplace? It's just playing off of the motif, right? There we go. And then, of course, that piece on the face. Okay, so here's the other. I got to turn this for a sec, excuse me. I've got no header on that one. I better put a header in. Okay, so there's a couple of windows in the space, and then this way tell the reader to keep an eye out for windows. Maybe, who knows? All right, so there we go. Space here for some dialogue, right? And then we'll put some tools lying on the floor. If you've ever been to a job site, there's a lot of tools kicking around all the time. And then hammer. Anyhow. Yeah, I know, Miriam. I said that earlier on. Sorry. I don't know how to change it now while I'm doing the stream, so I'll just leave it for today and fix it for tomorrow. Without leaving the room, and I don't know if that shuts it off, and I just can't be bothered. So, we've got a new camera set up. I got this camera, and then I've got our zoom in camera. So there we go. We can see the drawing a little better now. So the first panel is the one that Miriam had said, do a one with the circular panel. So there's your circular panel. And then I've got the second panel already laid out to go in. And I'm making a mess here. Boy, oh boy. Okay, and then this next panel, that paint from the previous page. It's all right, it'll disappear. So previous page, glopping this aside, the next panel will sit through the center here in front of the second one that we're doing. But we'll get to that. But I got it all figured out in the old noggin, the old cabeza. I'll put one more just to close this off so people see what I'm referring to. Now there's our top third, there's our center third, and there's our bottom third of this page. So you can see how much room we've got left. We can see it a little easier if I pop to this. So with the top third is the first panel is drawn in, and then we've got the center area here that's coming halfway across too. And it's sort of fun, the lines that move down here diagonally very subtly and sort of direct your eye to the next panel down. Miriam says, bad hair day? We don't see your face today. I switched all my cameras. In order to see my face, I have to turn off all these other cameras, and then I go like this. Hi. So when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you. Zoom in, zoom out. And then, of course, we've still got the window camera that shows everything else. Ridiculous, I'm silly. There we go. Bad day? I always have bad hair days. Not as bad as mine, I promise you. I got the bad hair going. I'll just put some shapes of wood here. Just to move the eye around. A little bit of information that text will sit over top of. And I think I'm going to put in a cinder block wall. Oops, move that over. In the background there. So, and then I'll move through the whole space. Right. See what I mean? It'll go through the whole environment. I'll pull in. Sorry, I apologize. Getting used to it. There we go. So now there'll be the cinder blocks that builds up the structure in the background. But I don't know how I'll put those in yet. Maybe I'll just do an overlay. Who cares? Whether or not I draw that or just use a stencil. So we're down into our second panel, Oh, before I get to that, we'll put trees through here, okay? And then that way, and we'll put another tree over on this side. And that way, that's sort of showcases that here's this environment that he's in. And that has, deciduous trees and so forth around him. Whereas in the frame, the supernatural frame, the magic frame that he's made, we're going to have a different environment entirely. Why don't we do deserts? I really had fun painting yesterday's page. I've really got the studio set up in such a way as that I can use whatever I want far more, and it's far more accessible to me than it's been. It's important to get organized, right? I got a lot of junk. Okay, so here's some clouds up in the sky. Here's some, and then when I put color to it, this will be sandy colored, etc. Miriam says, thank you. And Chris says, be right back. She's on the balcony, hooting like a bird because she finished her marking. Okay, so actually, not worrying about having my goofy head on the screen makes it easier for me to just lean into what I'm doing. Okay, so we've got our carpenter who's now made his first window, right? And his first magic window. But I think that maybe we should take that a little further and see, where we can go with this. Like, if we've got a frame here, so I'm going to do this frame to match this one. And this way we can do a different environment now. Miriam says, I finished half my dinner waiting for the next half. Multitasking. There you go. Okay, so we can switch the view of what's in the frame each time. It could be a fun thing to do. And to have, so we'll just jump over and maybe Paris. Why not? Because Paris has the tower. And so it can have a recognizable image right off the hop. That way there's not too much necessity of thinking here. It's just, here's the Paris landscape, etc. So, all right, so I'll draw the Eiffel Tower. Let me think. It's got the secret room up at the top. There's a room up here at the very top of the tower, and most people don't realize it's a private apartment made by the owner. He actually entertained in it a couple times. Rome Colosseum, Pisa, the tower, so on. Oh yeah, that's the whole point, is that we can the window can take us to all kinds of different places. Yeah, that's great, Miriam. But this way, it allows, by drawing what's in, moving from the frame to the frame, and having this space for text to talk about the, how the frame is special. This gives us an open-ended ability to just right away in the next panel to just sort of I can have them looking at the frame and realizing it's a different place again, and a different place again, and a different place, So there's our first panel. Now, before we move farther down, I'm debating on maybe doing something different with another. Yeah, okay. So I said I wasn't going to do text up in a corner, but why not? I got an idea. So I'll just throw one more. Look at how to use a stencil. Everybody be happy. So there's a repetition of that circular element, even though, and so maybe by having the repetition of the second circular frame of reference and having our carpenter, I'll draw him in this panel, and then what that gives me is a chance to get an expression from him, and then we move into this rectangular shape that repeats this motif, so that it distinctly separates that this is something special. That's the theory, so we'll see. Trying to think of how can I draw. Yeah, I got an idea. All right, so let's do. Let's draw him. Looking down at what he's building, what he's doing, and we'll talk about his craft or something. We can do a little narration on the guy that did it, that created this frame. So I kind of piece this together on the fly as I work. It tends to be how I do it all the time. Some people swear by having to work from script. Some people swear from having to have no script or whatever. I like the idea and to just run with the idea and develop it as we go, right? Making his face up a little bit here. Reference picture is too small. So better draw his helmet. Don't forget to put his safety helmet on here. Give that a little bit more form. A little shape. You gotta put volume on stuff, right? A little editorial going on here. Actually, I'm gonna put, yeah, that's better. A little bevel on that. So here's our carpenter designing the window and the magic frame. So I think maybe I gotta pop the helmet out of the top of the frame. I think that might make more sense. Derwent, get over here and do your job. I think there's some more of this kind of shape to it, and then we'll put a little pop out at both sides, and There we go. Okay. So here's our popping them out of the panel. Just sort of gives just a little something to it, right? It just gives it a bit of interest. I might have to make this helmet bigger. Yeah, that's better. I'll fix that in a second. Let's get back to drawing our guy. Just have him focusing as he's looking down and making the window. Give him a beard. All the old construction guys have beards. Maybe not, but you know what I mean. Where are we at now? What are we doing for our time? Yeah, we're doing great. Okay. So that's stick that ear out a little further. And give him his beard. And I'm going to put his color there. I think that what I'm going to do again is push this environment and have him just carry on just a little bit more, and then we'll put a flat line here at the base. And that sort of gives a little interesting movement of shapes in space, or in the overall space, sorry. So we need to put there we go. Follow this line here. When it comes to penciling, just straight penciling, I tend to pencil fairly quick with, when I'm just using a pencil and just doing line art for it to be finished, either by somebody else inking it or me having to ink it. It's just, I don't know, it's just because you draw the pencil the most, I guess. Maybe that's why I have a little more facility with just the penciling process itself. But I do prefer to work mixed and to try different things all the time. I'm going to run that to the edge of his vest here. And I think I got the reflective information there. And then we'll stop at the reflective part there so that we can follow the shape of the circle. And then we'll follow, what I'm going to do? And I'm doing this shape on the side, following the contour of the circle, because I'm going to drop this down to about there. Just because. Pencil gives you confidence. I think it's less about a confidence thing, and I think it's more about a comfort, like a just, it's the thing that I've been drawing with the most and the longest amount of time. And so it's always going to be the thing that when I work with it, it's just almost natural, like in the sense that there's just an ease to it. like an ease, not like, oh, it's easy. I mean, like a comfort to it, that it's just, I don't have any as much consideration or thought into the lines that I'm making, because I can just, maybe because I know I could erase them. This may be it, or because I've been working with pencil the longest. Okay, so what was I doing? The Eiffel Tower, I think, right? It's got first level, and then it has, yeah, it's got 2 levels. I should look up a picture of it. Here we go. And then there's the big. This thing's huge, eh? Like surprisingly huge. And of course, with the local landscape, they've got all kinds of rules in place that you can't build. This has to be the most prominent feature in the landscape. So it's always going to come off as being as immense as it is, because by comparison, everything around it has to be smaller. Just the whole corner there. So here's our Eiffel Tower. Fix that line a little bit. Okay, so, and then I think it's trees and buildings in the background, or maybe, I think it's a good park here. And look up a picture of the Eiffel Tower. The Tour de Eiffel. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. There's trees here, and then there's buildings that are only allowed to be so many. I got some stuff wrong here. This, forgot the 4th strut. Very basic, shapes to build it up, and I'm not going to get more elaborate than that and drawing all the cross beams and stuff. Just, I will be here all night. Okay, so here's some of the tops of, the Plastic Concorde. I don't actually know what that is, but that was sticking out and around. Just so that it doesn't exist in a vacuum. Okay, so here's the Eiffel Tower. And I'll draw clouds in the sky here. So fun shapes of movement, right? Putting the line, the way I did the clouds here with the line moving this way, is as the composition is moving this way, this line now moves you down this way by having this directional approach to the clouds, right? So his eye, his view takes us down. This view even takes us down. The text will lead us across. And then we move down to here, and then down, we're down to there. So let me switch cameras for a sec. The overhead. So here's how much of the page is together already. So I'm down to, well, the bottom half of it. And so what, I'll just stick here for a second while I put the next border in for a panel while I listen to Stone Roses. So you can't see me dance now. This is good. I can dance along with whatever I'm listening to. Okay, so now we can have our carpenter, like, hey, I made the thing. Oh, who doesn't like the things? So let's get a bunch of dudes together and have them looking at the frame like, hey, what in the world have you done here? You know. Oh, and I have a fun idea for the last panel. That is, oh, meshes. So the last panel is going to step over top of this one. And why does a carpenter use his helmet? Because he's on a job site. This is a job site. So that's why helmets on everybody. You have to have helmets on job sites in North America anyways. But carpenter is still the guy who puts together the wood framing and that. He's still called a carpenter. That's his specificity, like his specialty on the job site, right? So it's yeah, that's just how it is. Okay, so I'm going to draw in some additional laborers in this, and I'll jump back down again with the camera. Oops, I'm sorry, I've switched the wrong camera. Hi again. Getting used to my camera layout. So I've got this panel laid in here, and I think that what I'm going to do, because I'm trying to keep it interesting and moving the view around, right? So like this, because the magic power of Photoshop, I know that I can reduce this down a little bit in size, and then lower it down like this, so that it meets this line here, and it would meet this. There we go. So it will take up that space instead of being all of this. Okay? And it'll help with this arc, this directional flow visually. And then in this panel, I think that what my intention is here is to have other people conferring about this window. And so I think I'll draw them in on this side, and then we'll put them popping below the frame, because again, I'm playing with the idea of the frame itself, because the only really kind of intact thing is this. And even that's not intact, I guess, because I've got this panel jumping in front of it. So frames everywhere. So let's put this guy in a shirt, and give him some muscles. Muscles. And some blueprints. Something that line. There we go. And we'll have a couple of people talking about what's going on here. It's very dynamic. Oh, thanks, Miriam. Chris says, carpenters here wear caps. Oh, caps. Nice. There's a whole thing about well, for one thing, there's too much bureaucracy in North America in comparison against other places. But it's also because of how litigious these countries are in the north, right? Everybody's going to sue everybody about everything. So, there's all kinds of, make sure you have to have this specific safety gear. And of course, there's the capitalist part of it all, where all these safety gear companies are, they promote all kinds of safety protocols that have to be put in place because that helps them facilitate the sale of products. Anyways, it's not just about safety. It's also, there's a much larger machine in North America that requires all of this extra tchotchke on a job site. So let's have another beard. Carpenters got beards. That's not an absolute. doing? Get that helmet on him. Miriam says on a construction site, everyone uses helmets. In a private business, no carpenter wears one. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you don't, unless it's, yeah, you don't have to wear construction helmets when you're just renovating a house or something like that. But let's give him the stripes on the shoulder too. Safety vest, blah, blah, blah. Have him holding some plans. And then we'll put it's a fun beard. I can't grow a beard. I got 2 bald spots on my chin. Yeah. So this line that moves across here will disappear. I get it erased out properly, but and I'm debating on whether or not I put the whole helmet in. You got these guys with their vests tied up. So here's our guy in the front. Here's our guy behind. Give him shirts. We don't want these hairy chests hanging out. What kind of a job set are we running here? So shapes in the jacket and the vest. And again, I'm going to put a line across the bottom here. There we go. So just a line down here. So I don't want to give away the punchline for this. Not that it's always going to be a punchline. I don't want to give the last reveal, the last panel, the summation. Outcome in the narrative. Safety glass Joe over here. Make sure you got proper safety glasses on the job site there, kids. Older fella. Give some shapes to his face. Tilt his hat up. Same here, Chris. There we go. Just putting his hats on these fellas and popping them up out of the panel to make it a little more interesting. Okay, so here we are. We're coming along. So I'm going to put this guy's arms out. Here's Mr. Hands on his hips. You're not going to get to see his hips. But you know that's how he's standing. And then this will be the secondary. Just going to put this in really lightly. Really lightly. Okay. Okay. Let's get his thumb in here so you know he's holding a glove. Here we go. Hands on the hips. Am I going to ink this page? Am I going to ink digitally this page? I am, but I'm going to fart around with it a little bit more. I think I might put some watercolor into some of these areas, like into the floor here, in the background of this panel. I think I might do a little bit of fussing about, just to keep something happening anyways. So the idea is, what are we at? 20 after. Appreciate the question, Chris. That's right. Maybe I have to think for a second there. Do I want? Put an inspector here. So tell me again, it's a magic window. Give him some work gloves too. All work gloves. Why not? Well, he doesn't have any, but you know what I mean. Carpenters, they got tougher hands. Same silver shoulder lines there. I'm going to put them on here. There we go. So here's the third person coming in, and then in the background is going to be our guy and his frame. Okay, and then the bottom section here of the page is where I get to do the summation of it, but I don't want to show that. I'm going to show that tomorrow, and when it's all set and completed. So just to walk through, so the first panel is circular, and it's got our carpenter who's working out on a piece of paper some of his, planning it's gone into making something about this weird frame that's showing the desert. And it also shows Paris, and I'm going to have it show, well, what did Miriam say earlier? The Parthenon or something like that? Or the Rome Colosseum, the Roman Colosseum. So I'll put the Roman Colosseum in there. Okay. And then these people are trying to talk about what to do with it. And this bottom, there's the Roman Colosseum. And then here is these people that I'm drawing in now that are going to be talking about what to do about all this. And, you know, and then there's what I'm going to draw on the bottom panel here that's just going to sort of sum it all up. Chris says, I am drawing something with blue and I'd like to try scanning in an ink with the digital program. That's a great idea. It saves you the process of going about re-inking the whole thing. The difference being is that you can get some thin to thick weights in your line. Oops, let me move that up. You can get some thin to thick and back to thin again lines when you are putting ink down on it. Does the blue show? Well, yeah, the blue is what digital inking means. You scan this and then you can convert this line to a black line. And then you can come in with an eraser and clean up some of the sloppy bits and overlaps and little lines that you've drawn over lines. But it saves you having to then go through with a black inking pen or brush and go over the entire composition again. Now, you're only going to get line art when you do it this way. You're not going to get any graying or interesting complexity of, well, you might get gray depending on your scan, but you're not going to get in that kind of dry brush, wet brush complexity and into the inking process. But you just get the basic line art or the pencil art that you put down here. So, blue doesn't show in photocopy. It shows in a scanner. It shows in a scanner, or it would be pointless to scan the blue line art, right? So here's the overall composition now in our other camera, and on the 8.5 by 11. And I've just got this bottom piece. I've got this bottom piece here to illustrate at this point now. And thumbs up. We're in a good place. So just to go back once more. Whoops, what have I done? There we go. Thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. I'll be back at some point this weekend. I'll be doing one of my late night, early morning streams, and just when I feel like it. But I'll have this posted for Monday, and I'll be streaming for sure on Monday at 2 p.m. EST. But over the course of the weekend, I'll make some kinds of appearances. And for those of you that are following me on, it depends on your scanner. Sorry, there's a question here. Blue doesn't show up in photocopy, so I'm wondering if it doesn't scanner. Chris says, set the scanner to color mode, move the settings to detect blue, and there it is. I didn't have to do that with my scanner. It just sort of does it on its own. But yeah, some scanners for sure do that. And then Miriam says, thank you, Christopher. It's good to see you. Oh, well, hi. So yeah, I'll be back Monday at 2 p.m. PST. I'll be showing up around at some point this weekend. But Monday for sure, we'll be back on track with our 2 p.m. daily thing. I hope people are enjoying the portrait format pages that I'm doing right now as opposed to the landscape ones that I've been doing. I just need to shake it up. And then it allows me to be a little more aggressive about the shapes and how the panels are going to move through the page, because there's things that I can do here that are a little more difficult to do in that landscape format. So yeah, okay. Thanks everybody for this. If anybody has suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, like one-page comic suggestions or 3-word prompts or whatever it is, feel free to put it in the comments or send me a direct message or whatever it is that's comfortable for you. And in the interim, I got to get back doing some other things. Thanks very much, everybody, for hanging out. I'll talk to you soon. Chris will be back to hang out live on Friday. Super cool. Bye, Chris, as Miriam says. Thanks very much, everybody. Bye for now.